Everyone, and
Good afternoon.
and thank you for joining us today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sean Garrett, and I have the privilege of leading our United Way here in Chicago and working with all of you across our great county. On behalf of United Way and 211 Metro Chicago, I want to say, first of all, thank you to our partners at Cook County, the President Preckwinkle and her team, the team at the Bureau of Economic Development. You all have been amazing. I also want to thank you to our partners at the City of Chicago, Mayor Johnson, Acting Commissioner of Department of Family and Support Services, Maura McClary, thank you, and the entire team at DFSS who have been part of this from the very beginning. I also want to say thank you to the generous philanthropic community who has helped make 211 a great partnership between the public sector and the private sector, and we're grateful for their work. And then most importantly, our partners who receive the referrals. At the end of the day, our job is to connect people to resources, and those resources are carried out by incredible community partners all around our region, and we're grateful for their work. We are thrilled to be here today to recognize National 211 Day, February 11th. It's a great day because we get to celebrate the work that's happening all across our county and really across our country, where people can call in to a 24/7, 365 helpline to get connected to resources by talking to a trained, empathetic, and compassionate person. You know, we started 211 here in Chicago and throughout Cook County 2 years ago in January of 2023. Prior to that, if you had a need in our community, you were often given a flyer that had 65 phone numbers on it. And you were challenged to say, figure out who to call, who's going to be available to you, what their hours were, so that you can get the resources that you needed. Well, today, you talk to someone like Brian over here, who's an incredible partner, an incredible resource navigator, who will, first of all, meet you where you are. He'll ask you about the situation that you're in, ask you for what it is that you might be looking for, but then he'll also try to understand what other challenges you might be facing so that he can make sure he can get you 1, 2, 3, even 4 or 5 referrals for support across our region. The other thing, though, is he'll say, call me back if you need more help. Because our point, and one of the things we're most proud of, is our team is there to meet the individual calling wherever they might be that day. And Brian and his team has just been incredible, and so we're very grateful to have him, and you're going to get to hear from him a little bit later today. And so, you know, I want to say thank you to all of you for being here today, but I want to say a special thank you to our next speaker, who is President Preckwinkle. President Preckwinkle has been a great partner of ours on so many issues across our community. She's been a mentor in many ways to me, and so I'm very grateful to get to be with her today. But she's also been a person from the very beginning who cared deeply about 211 and ensuring that Cook County residents can get connected to these much-needed services across the region. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to President Preckwinkle.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank you, Sean, for that kind introduction and for your leadership at United Way of Metro Chicago. Your dedication to building stronger, more connected communities is clear. 211 Metro Chicago is a shining example of that commitment. I also want to recognize Richard LaPratt, Executive Director of 211 Metro Chicago, Brian Lewis, Resource Navigator of 211 Metro Chicago, Maura McCauley, Acting Commissioner of the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services, and Cook County Commissioners Donna Miller and Tara Stamps. Thank you all for being here and for your support. Today, we're celebrating a truly impactful program. We're also celebrating the power of partnership. We're celebrating what is possible when government, civic institutions, philanthropy, corporate partners, and community organizations work together to solve real challenges. When we launched 211 Metro Chicago 2 years ago, we knew it had the potential to change lives. 211 is a bridge that ensures people facing difficult circumstances do not have to navigate the system alone. It's a direct connection between residents and the critical resources that they need. This is true whether it's housing assistance, food support, or financial help to keep the lights on. This is what equity looks like in action. This is what we can achieve through equitable public policy. We built 211 to serve the people who need it most. Families at risk of losing their homes, seniors struggling to pay their bills, workers who've been laid off and need help finding their next opportunity. These are the residents who make up our communities. They deserve a system that works for them and meets them where they are in their moment of greatest need. For suburban Cook County, the impact of 211 has been especially significant. We know that resources are often spread out in these areas, making it harder for residents to access services. 211 has changed that. In places like Niles, Des Plaines, Berwyn, Cicero, Dalton, Calumet City, and many others, we've seen a demand for services. And 211 has been the link, the tool in connecting people to support. As I noted, this program would not be possible without strong collaboration. I want to thank Mayor Johnson and our partners at the City of Chicago, United Way, and the many corporate and philanthropic organizations that have stepped up to sustain and grow this service. Because of our partnership, 211 is not just a helpline, it's a lifeline for our residents. We still have work to do. As we look ahead, we remain committed to strengthening 211, expanding its reach, and ensuring that every resident in our county knows that they have a place to turn when they need help the most. We're grateful for all of you being here today and for your support of this critical work. Please know that you can count on Cook County as a partner in the work ahead. And now I'd like to ask Commissioner Millers and Commissioner Stamps, in that order, to say a few words before we hear from Acting Commissioner McCauley.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller, and I represent the south and southwest suburbs, and that's important today as we talk about the expansion of 211 in 211 Day in Cook County. And just so everybody knows, today is 211. Get it? So thank you, President Preckwinkle, for allowing us to be here today and celebrating this momentous day. And this is National 211 Day, which is an annual observance as the go-to for 24/7 help for millions of people in the U.S. and Canada. It's been operating for over 20 years. This 211 helpline provides critical lifeline for individuals facing various challenges and comprehensive suite of services. Through 211, individuals can access health services, obtain information about food assistance programs such as food pantries and soup kitchens. Additionally, the service connects people to healthcare resources, including access to affordable healthcare, insurance, and prescription drug assistance, and preventative care services. This helpline also addresses employment-related needs, offering job search assistance, employment training programs, and career counseling services. For families and individuals dealing with crises, 211 provides the support, ensuring that all callers receive immediate assistance and follow-up care if needed. I'm so happy that this was championed by our Cook County Equity Task Force, and 211 Metro Chicago was launched in 2023. As mentioned, the vital services provide assistance for Chicago and suburban Cook County residents, which was something that was greatly needed in South Suburban Cook County. And it's operated by United Way of Metro Chicago with support from Cook County, the City of Chicago, and many other partners. Again, as I mentioned, I'm particularly fond and grateful of this service because the suburbs that I represent are often confronted with the same needs as the City of Chicago, but without the same resources. It's really a great service for our communities, and I'm happy to see that many are taking advantage of it. So again, thank you, and let's continue to get the word out about this vital service. Next, I'll introduce my colleague, Commissioner Stamps.
Good afternoon. I'm Cook County Commissioner Tara Stamps of the 1st District, and of course I have great words about the importance of the 211 program and this very 211 day, but before that I have a testimony. You may know that many of our residents call the Commissioner's office needing help and assistance, and one family called because they had been the victim of violence and needed somewhere to go immediately. I called with the woman, the 211 services, and she also needed or wanted mental health supports for her daughters. Someone, a real live human being person, stayed on the phone with us and gave us a list of residences to call, a list of clinics to call where her children could get services and where she could potentially find suitable housing. And for me, that was a win-win day. Not only because I was able to step in the gap, but because I saw the evidence of what we said 211 is. And it was a moment to really celebrate. So I want, of course, to acknowledge the leadership of the Office of the President and our partners and all the dedicated individuals who have worked tirelessly to make 211 a vital resource in our community. In just 2 years, 211 Metro Chicago has facilitated 320,000 connections to critical services and community resources. This service is a lifeline for residents in need, providing support in areas such as housing, food insecurity, mental health, employment assistance, and utility relief. We know that access to information can mean the difference between stability and crisis. 211 Metro Chicago ensures that help is just a phone call or a click away from those who are facing hardships. As Cook County Commissioner, I believe the government must work for the people, especially those most in need. 211 Metro embodies this commitment by providing single, easy access hub for residents seeking essential services, from the mother struggling to make ends meet to the elderly resident needing health care assistance. This program ensures that help is accessible and immediate. So while we celebrate today, we know there is still so much work to do. We must continue to invest in and expand 211 Metro Chicago to meet the needs of our growing communities, strengthen the collaboration between government, nonprofits, and community organizations. We will ensure we reach more residents in need. I encourage all Cook County residents to spread the word about 211 because knowing where to turn in a time of crisis can save lives. As we mark this milestone, let's remain committed to the mission of ensuring that no resident in Chicago or Cook County is left without help, hope, and resources. And now, this is when I put my glasses on. There you go, Commissioner McCauley.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, sorry. My name is Maura McCauley, and I am the Acting Commissioner for the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services. Thank you for being here today. I'd like to begin by acknowledging our host, President Preckwinkle, our partners at Cook County and the Bureau of Economic Development, our elected officials, and our invaluable program partners, the United Way of Metropolitan Chicago, who you'll hear from some more. DFSS, with the support of Mayor Brandon Johnson, is proud to stand here with you today as we celebrate an incredible resource that is making a difference in the lives of so many. And today, 211 Day, is a day of celebration of the progress that we've made and the commitment to continue the work. Since its launch in 2023, 211 has been a lifeline for residents across Chicago and Cook County. In just over a year, 211 has received more than 320,000 calls, texts, chats, and web searches from individuals, families in need of support. Just last month alone, 211 made over 10,000 referrals to Chicago residents, connecting people with essential services and resources to help them navigate difficult times. 211 is more than just a phone number, and those numbers are more than just data points. 211 is a bridge to hope and stability for real people and real residents of Chicago and Cook County. From families facing eviction, to veterans seeking job training, to residents seeking food assistance, 211 is there to help. What makes 211 so powerful is its ability to serve our residents more effectively while maximizing our collective investment in social services. By ensuring people know how to access the help they need, we are making our social support system more efficient and impactful. None of this would be possible without the dedication and hard work of our 211 resource navigators, and you're going to hear from someone today speaking about that. I want to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to all of you who spent more than 70,000 hours last year assisting residents across Chicago and Cook County. As Commissioner Stamps so nicely illustrated, when someone reaches out for help, you are there. You are the voice of compassion and guidance, and we thank you for your service. If you or someone you know is in need, whether it's food, housing, legal assistance, or any type of support, but you're unsure where to start, call or text 211. A real person will be there to help connect you with resources available right in your neighborhood. But our work doesn't stop here. Let's continue to lift up 211 and spread the word about this vital service. Tell a friend, a family member, a coworker, let them know that 211 is here for them. Together we can make sure that no one in Chicago has to face hardship alone. And at this time, I would like to invite Executive Director Richard LaPrette to come up.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, President Preckwinkle. Thank you, Acting Commissioner McCauley, as well as Stamps and Miles, for your gracious comments. I am thrilled to stand here today, in making this possible. Yeah, this is really an exciting opportunity for us. 211 has been open for 2 years today. Today is our anniversary, where we've been open for 2 years and handling more than 320,000 contacts from the city of Chicago and suburban Cook. This is no small feat for something that just started 2 years ago. In our first year, we were handling anywhere between 5,000 to 7,000 contacts per month. We are now handling anywhere between 19,000 to 22,000 contacts per month, and that pace continues to grow. We help people every single day with every type of need that you can think of when it comes to health and human services in our community. And that's really thanks to the partnerships that we have made in this community at large. The large volume that we've seen in this past year was due in part to our contracts that helped with homelessness prevention, where we worked with the city of Chicago as well as suburban Cook to take on operations of the homelessness prevention hotlines. This included the city of Chicago's homelessness prevention hotline, the city's continuum of care coordinated entry hotline, as well as suburban Cook's homelessness prevention and diversion hotline as well. That's just one. Another one of the great partnerships that we've been able to make happen in our region is with the Greater Chicago Food Depository. We want to ensure that no individual in city of Chicago or in suburban Cook goes hungry. So what we did is we started a partnership with the Greater Chicago Food Depository, where we opened a portal electronically, where we allowed for information to flow back and forth between them. That means that every 6 hours, all food pantry and food assistance programs are updated in our database. That means that no individual should know where not to go in our community to get food, because hunger shouldn't be an issue in Cook County. Another great partnership that we've also been able to make happen was with the American Red Cross. With the effects of the flooding that happened in the city of Chicago in July of 2023, and the flooding that happened in suburban Cook in October of 2023, hundreds of individuals were affected. That meant that they had nowhere to go. That meant that their homes were ruined, that they had cleanup work that needed to be done. 211 stepped in as a partner with the American Red Cross to help those hundreds of families get connected with disaster resources, to better get them up on their feet, and making sure that their homes were livable, and making sure that disaster services were put in their hands, as well as making that connection to FEMA when those assistance needs were most present. Additionally, Cook County is not really familiar with disasters. So 211 worked with the American Red Cross in the townships and the individual neighborhoods in order to inform where those needs were most needed. What was going to be needed during a disaster? How could we best help those people? And how could we put those resources that were in those individual communities to work? It is through those partnerships that we can do most work with the individuals in need, and making sure that needs are present, that our communities are knowledge about what services we need to bring, and that what gaps we need to cover. The other thing that's come about with 211 is our data. What you'll see on the screen is that we have done an enormous amount of work with getting our data present to the community at large. We can see at any given moment where the need is most present. In this example, what you are seeing is an interactive dashboard where we can look at either demographics or needs. We can see where the unmet needs are most present. Whereas if I were to click on July, I can see where the needs are most present at that time. Or I can look at a specific age group and see where the needs are most present so that I can work with those agencies to making sure that we're getting those needs right out into the community and making sure that we're filling those gaps. This dashboard is available to you at 211metrochicago.org. if you click on data. But this data is updated weekly. That means that the data is in your hands. Our community is most knowledgeable when they have the information present. We shouldn't be working in silos, and 211 puts that information into your hands. How can we as a community advocate for services? How can we best, as funders, as providers, as community members, do most for our community at large? And that's through data, that's through advocacy, that's through knowledge. Well, we've heard a lot of different stories about what's going on. It's about really the human connection. It's about touching the individual. It's about knowing what the need is and what the unspoken need is. As part of our training at 211, it isn't just listening to the direct need, it's also listening to the entire call. And that requires a tremendous amount of training. It requires a pinpoint so that way our staff can work with any individual 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And that's not easy when you have to listen to needs every single day. But we have tremendous staff that do what they can. For our community, where we see the most need or we see the most calls, it's in the Auburn Grisham, Chatham, and South Shore. In the suburban regions, it's Chicago Heights and Fort Heights, as well as Calumet City and Phoenix and Harvey. When you talk about the highest needs that 211 sees, it's no surprise. It's housing and shelter. It's utility bill assistance. It's food pantries. It's the needs that are most present in our community. But as you look at the data and you look and see what can be informed, you will find that there are other needs as well that we need to bring to the fold. And our staff that work in the center do what they can to find those ulterior different means to make sure that those individuals are assisted. It isn't just through the direct means. It may be asking the probing questions. It may be looking at the entire situation and making sure that they can do what they do best. I am very lucky to have a staff member that is with me today, who is going to speak after me, who is empathetic and intentional, as all of our staff are. I have 40 staff that work for me inside the 211 Contact Center, and I am proud of them every single day. With what you're going to hear from him, you're going to hear a story about how he can help people best. But this is just one of my many staff members that can do their best for the community at large. So I'm going to introduce Brian Lewis.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rich. I'm Brian Lewis, and I've been a resource navigator with 211 Metro Chicago since November of 2023. I've seen firsthand the impact of both the lives of people who contact 211 and on my life as a resource navigator. I recently talked to a senior couple who was looking for a bed, not a bed in a shelter or a bed in a facility, but an actual something to sleep on. Their home had been flooded, and the mattress had been waterlogged, and they've been sleeping on sleeping bags for a couple of months. And it's not exactly a comfortable sleeping arrangement, of course, especially for seniors. So I searched through our 211 database of more than 6,000 programs, agencies, including furniture banks, pantries, shelters, and churches, any place that might have a mattress to offer. A few weeks later, the couple received a follow-up call. Following up with the community members is a very important part of our process, our resource referral process, to make sure that we know what the status of the request are for our information. The couple told us that they had received a new mattress. And all thanks to 211. You know, this story might seem like a small example of success, but I was thrilled so much, and it was so much more than a mattress. I was thrilled to be able to connect with some people and get them what they needed. And that's what we did at 211. Now, I've always been a diligent and curious person, but I have struggled myself with technology and finding things that I needed on the internet. And it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming for some, technology that is. And that's what makes me and our team of resource navigators the perfect people for this job. We are all from across Chicago. I grew up in Englewood and Park Manor myself, and we are trying to remove barriers to help people get what they need. And when I share a resource with someone, like a place to find a new mattress, it is a feeling of accomplishment. I have helped open the door to someone who necessarily would not have that door opened. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. People call every day for help. You might not know how hard it is for them to have made that call, which is why it's so important as a resource navigator to be present, attentive, compassionate, and say things like, I hear you. That's why 211 is important. It's truly making a difference in people's lives every day, and I am grateful to be a part of this project. I look forward to helping thousands of more people in 211 in the months and years to come. Thank you very much, and I would like to invite Sean back to the lectern. Thank you.
So as you can hear, Brian is really good at his job. But the reality is, and Rich said this, there are 40 other people that are just like that. And it's really powerful when you get to spend time with them as a group and hearing about their stories. I want to thank everybody for being here today. This is an important day for us to bring out the word, but also to celebrate the progress. I also want to thank our interpreters for making sure that we can get this out to everyone, and we're grateful. And one of the unique things about 211 is we have lots of different language capabilities. It's about serving our full community, and so thank you for everything that you all have done today. I want to once again thank all of our partners at the city, our partners at the county, and our host today, President Preckwinkle. And with that, I want to thank all of you, and I think I'll turn it over to you, Nick, for